Welcome back to another episode of the Dino's Ball Show. Um, a lot on the docket today. I'm gonna be talking about the Orlando Magic and a magical season that they've been having. I'm gonna be talking about men's college basketball versus women's college basketball and why I'm enjoying the women's game more. Um, I'm gonna be playing Dana White, but in the boxing world because I still think boxing has some hope. And then I got a list of complaints. But before we get into all of that, man, let's address this Diddy situation. As you guys know, I go by Diddy Knows Ball. And I've been getting a lot of nasty comments when I comment on YouTube videos, when I comment on Bleacher Report, just when I do certain things in the space, in social media world. Uh, I got Diddy from my neighborhood because I always was hatching up schemes and things of high entrepreneurial nature. I always had big dreams, big goals, and things of that. So that's why people just start calling me Diddy. I was always trying to do something big. It seemed outrageous, and I'm going to keep the nickname because my real name is Dwight, and that's, in my opinion, is no better. Might as well go with a nickname that actually means something to me. And by no means do um I don't like P Diddy. I don't mess with Puffy like that. I really didn't listen to Big like that. I didn't follow Puffy career. I don't condone in what he's been doing. I don't, I ain't got too much love for the Diddler. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy. No Diddy is crazy, y'all. Saying no Diddy is crazy when people used to say pause. If no Diddy takes the place of pause, I'm low key. I'm low key gonna be mad. Damn, I got my tag all up. Damn, get yourself together. It's early. I'm recording this early in the morning on a Sunday morning, Easter morning. By the way, happy Easter to you. To you. Damn, get it out. Happy Easter to you guys. Um, But I have to just address the Diddler. I don't want no parts of that. You know what I'm saying? No relation. What Uncle Ruckus used to say in the Boondocks, no relation. Diddy, no relation. But let's get into the Orlando Magic. Say, man, I got some slides I want to show y'all because I think Paolo Banchero is the most slept on number one overall pick. He's the most disrespected number one overall pick. And we sit here and act like the Orlando Magic was in a good position before him. Do y'all not remember how terrible that team was before him? Before Paolo got to Orlando Magic, they was unwatchable. Nobody was watching them. They was unwatchable. They was a bag over your face type of team. Man. In my personal opinion, he inherited a worse situation than pretty much every number one overall pick since goddamn. I can't think of. I don't know who to inherit a worse situation. Yes, you had Franz Wagner over there. Yes, you had Cole Anthony. You probably had Wendell Carter over there, Jalen Suggs. But there was a whole group of misfit toys, man. It was nothing until Paolo came over there. I think he inherited a worse situation than Victor Wembanyama. He did. People act like Victor Wembanyama inherited just the worst situation of all time. He didn't. You still had Pop. You still had Devin Vassell, who was a 20-point per game guy, who went off in that play-in game and outplayed DeJounte Murray in that play-in game against New Orleans. You still had Keldon Johnson, a 20-point per game guy, multiple seasons, and who still can get it done. Jeremy Sohan was a top 10 pick. You still had guys over there, bro. You still had the coaching structure, the organizational structure. Victor Wembanyama had a lot that Paolo didn't have. Jamal Mosley was a new coach, and it was no certified guy that was getting you over 20 points per game. Let's just keep it a buck. Man. Paolo inherited a terrible situation. He made it look good. Y'all forgetting Paolo's rookie season? Are we forgetting Paolo's rookie season? Are we forgetting the numbers this guy is putting up? I was looking at a stat, In this year, Paolo's he's one of only 8 players this season to average over 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He's one of only 8 players in the last 60 years to have 3,000 points, 900 rebounds, and 600 assists in his first 2 seasons. Notable names: Kareem, Braun, Bird, Luka. Just listen, y'all catching my drift in the conversations he should be in as a former number 1 overall pick. It's only been him, Jordan, LeBron, and Luka at 21 or younger to average over 26 and 4. Yeah, I'm show y'all some of these slides. I'm gonna show y'all some of these slides so y'all can kind of understand what's going on here, man. Look what he's done against number 1 overall picks. Look what he's done against number 1 overall picks. Matter of fact, I don't even wanna be in this. I don't even want to be in this. Y'all look at that. Paolo Banchero versus the number 1 overall picks this season. He's 8-1. He's 8-1. He got Zion coming up in a couple days. But he's beaten everybody. They smacked the Spurs twice. They 4-0 Detroit. They beat Zion and the Pelicans. They do have another game coming up. And they split with Anthony Edwards. I'm taking Paolo over everybody on this list and over all the number 1 overall picks on this list except Anthony Edwards. Him and Victor Wembanyama is still a wait and see. I was talking to my partner, Big Mike. Shout out Big Mike. He said, I always root for the underdog. And when it comes to Paolo versus Victor Wembanyama, Paolo's the underdog, but I love his story. I love his game, and he just always winning. Let me show y'all another screen because I don't think y'all get it. I don't think y'all get it. It's March Madness time, right? Look at Paolo Banchero versus his peers in college. Zion, the incredible run Zion had, and I'm not saying he was a better player in college than Zion. Zion was better. But Zion lost in the Elite 8. Anthony Edwards didn't even make the tournament. Y'all remember that? Him at Georgia, people didn't even know what we was getting out of it. Cade Cunningham lost in the second round. Oklahoma State was not all that. Chet Holmgren lost in the Sweet 16 on a stacked Gonzaga team. Jabari Smith lost in the second round after all the praise and hype he was getting. You remember when people were saying Jabari Smith was the number 1 overall pick for a little while? Then they said Chet was the number 1 pick for a little while. And old Paolo in Coach K's final year at Duke, where he was the number 1 guy on that Duke team. Nobody on that team is in a solid NBA rotation. Nobody. Jeremy Roach is still in college. I'm just saying, man, we got to start putting some respect on Paolo, just his basketball acumen. Dude wins basketball games, man. Look at this. I'm just trying to keep it a buck, man. Paolo's been doing this at every level. He's been doing it at every level, bro. He's been doing it at every level. Now, I just love Paolo's game. Now, let's get to because before they whooped on Memphis last night, they were on a losing streak. They was on a 3-game losing streak where they lost pretty much to I think the Clippers. Let me hold on for a second. Let me get to this and see exactly who they lost to because I don't want to be talking outside of my neck. But the Orlando Magic, they lost recently to the Clippers. That's the most recent game I watched. I didn't watch them destroy the Grizzlies. There was no point in that. But they lost to the Clippers, and before that, they lost to the Warriors and the Kings. They went on the 3-game skid before they beat the Grizzlies. And Paolo's not without his faults. He's not without his faults. In the losing streak against the Clippers, the Warriors, and the Kings. I guess that was a West Coast trip. Dude shot 3 for 19 from 3 in those 3 games. He had 15 turnovers. So I think Paolo Banchero is one of the most underrated playmakers at his size in the league. I feel like he's an advanced passer. Playmaking is just amazing. I think he's a good, not great scorer because his jump shot is a little inconsistent, and he doesn't have the softest touch. I'm just gonna keep it above. He don't have the softest touch. Paolo does not have the softest touch. He shoots a little hard. He shoots kind of like a football player. No disrespect to football players, but if you understand sports, you understand what I'm saying. Uh, I think he needs to work on his shooting touch. He needs to be more consistent and careful with the basketball. I'm not saying Paolo's without his faults, but we just have to quit acting like this dude is normal. We got to quit acting like he's average. Because going back to Duke, because I was high on Jabari like everybody else. I was high on Chet like everybody else. But I seen it at Duke. He was a level above them guys. He just was. If he didn't cramp up, he would have gave Chet even more buckets. Like, it just is what it is, guys. Paolo is not normal, man. But he does need to work on his shooting touch. He does need to clean up some of the passing. And in the Clippers game, he wasn't aggressive into that third quarter. I think he ended up having 14 points in that third quarter of that Clippers game. Kawhi matched him. Kawhi had about 13 points in that third quarter. But where the difference came in with Kawhi down the stretch of that fourth quarter, he had about 7 points. Paul George hit that big shot over Jonathan Isaac. I would like to see Paolo not try to put his cape on in the second half. I like to see him step on the gas sometimes in the first half. Some other things that I've noticed. Oh, and then Paolo has 7 turnovers. He has 7 turnovers in that Clippers game. So that definitely wasn't good. So there was that. I'm gonna get to Franz in a little bit. I'm gonna get to Jalen Suggs in a little bit. I'm gonna get to their bench, Wendell Carter. But I'm gonna wrap the Paolo up with this. And trust me, everything else is gonna be a little shorter. I'm a little long-winded with Paolo just because I think he needs his light, bro. I think Paolo, in terms of potential, he's right there with Anthony Edwards. Right now, it's a tier. It's a tier of guys who aren't the KDs, the Stephs, the Kawhis, the all-time level guys, where they Hall of Famers, NBA 75 guys. There's a tier below that. It's the Devin Booker, the Jason Tatums, the Donovan Mitchells. We think people around the NBA, people that watch basketball, think Anthony Edwards could get to that status. And I think, and most people think Luka's already there. SJ is already there. I think Anthony Edwards can get to that status. I think Paolo can get to that status. And we assume Victor Wembanyama can get to that status. I think Paolo can get to that status. A top 5 MVP candidate. I think he could be the best player on the championship team if the team is built right. I think he's that special, man. Now let's get to Franz. Yeah. Franz has been low-key terrible from shooting from 3. Now, Franz has went from a 36% three-point shooter last year on about 4.5 shots a game, 3 shots per game, to 29% this season on around the same volume per game. That's a big leap backwards. Now, overall, Franz is still about 48 from the field, but that's just because we know Franz can get to the hole. We know Franz is one of the best finishers in the NBA. We seen what Franz did to Victor Wembanyama. We seen it. Victor Wembanyama couldn't stop Franz from putting his body into him. No Diddy. And still getting those contested layups to go. Love Franz when he's attacking downhill. The jumper has to get better. They in the Clippers game. I'm gonna have a lot of Clippers game references because that's the most recent game on my brain. That's the most recent game I watched of the Orlando Magic, and that was a hell of a game, fun game to watch. But they had Zubac. Why I call him Zubac? They had Zubac on Franz, and he played all the way off. He played all the way off of him. He gave him so much room to shoot, and I low key was embarrassed for Franz. Franz Wagner could be a capable shooter, damn near better than a capable shooter. 36% from three at 6'10", with those downhill skills, passing ability, everything that Franz brings to the table. Dude was getting played off and guarded by Zubac. Now he did get past Zubac a few times and got some layups to go, but just the fact that was even something, they damn near played him like Zion. They damn near playing Franz Wagner like Zion at this point. And the decline from three is just costing the Magic in a huge way. A team that's already poor shooting. I just told y'all Paolo's been 3 for 19 in those 3 losses that they had before they beat the Grizzlies. Like, come on now. Yeah. And I did want to see more 2-man game with Paolo and Franz, as with Franz being the ball handler, because I don't know why they don't utilize pick and roll between Franz and Paolo. If they do, maybe I missed it, but they need to get a 2-man game going. I don't want this situation to end up like a Boston situation where you have 2 guys that have pretty much the same skill sets. I don't think that's pretty much the case between Paolo and Franz, but it's kind of the case because as it's looking now, neither one of them is just great shooters. I just think about Franz and just he's taking a step back this season, man. I think that was one of the biggest things to why I thought the Magic could be on a different level. The Magic, don't get me wrong, they're trending in the right direction, but Franz shooting has to get back. It has to come back because overall this is a terrible shooting team. And I just thought it was just so disrespectful. It was just so disrespectful for Zubac to be playing him like that. So that's Franz. Franz got to become better at shooting. He's still overall efficient just because his downhill ability. But I think he has to step it up, man. I think nobody destroys parlays like Franz Wagner. That's just me personally. Nobody destroys prop bets other than Jonte Porter. Then it like Franz Wagner, man. I'm just saying. Now, I told you I'm gonna go run through these other guys quick. Wendell Carter Jr., in my opinion, he's great in theory. I've said it multiple times. I think he would be great in Sacramento next to a guy like Domantas Sabonis because he can kind of guard the perimeter a little bit. He can hit the outside shot and he can block shots. I think he'd be the perfect guy next to Domantas Sabonis. Hey, you stand in that corner, you hit threes, you block shots, you try to hold up on the perimeter. I think Wendell Carter would be great in Sacramento. But I will say this. He's been terrible. He's been absolutely trash. He was getting cooked, absolutely cooked by Ivica Zubac, man. Zubac was cooking Wendell Carter, dog. He was cooking him in a terrible way. He wasn't even a part of the closing lineup in that Clippers game, which is understandable. He wasn't a part of that closing lineup. And it's getting to the point where Mo Wagner is so much better than Wendell Carter that it's sticking out like a sore thumb. And I'm gonna be interested to see how they play them in the playoffs and how they distribute the minutes. But yeah, Wendell Carter, dog. In theory, you look good. At times, you look good on the court. But recently, especially over that 3-game losing streak, say dog, it was bad. It didn't look good, man. And Mo Wagner might be coming for your spot. It might get to the point where Mo Wagner just go have to start, dog. Because in the playoffs, the Orlando Magic bench is amazing. in my opinion, it's the best bench in the NBA. I think it's them and the Knicks. And if I'm missing a bench, I don't know. But I think the Orlando Magic, the best bench in the NBA. Most of that is because Mo Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony. But maybe you go ahead to switch out Mo and Wendell. Maybe Wendell part of the best bench in the NBA because Mo Wagner, he just brings a different level of energy, toughness, scoring inside, consistency that Wendell just doesn't bring, man. You think Wendell will space the floor, block shots, hold up on the perimeter, but sometimes, just like against in the Clippers game, he just gets cooked. Okay, get to Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs in the Clippers game. I know I keep ripping the Clippers game, but that's the most recent game on my mind. Sorry, guys. Jalen Suggs, he played amazing defense on James Harden. I thought he played the passing lanes great. I think he even had a few steals. I didn't even think he had a couple blocks. But Jalen Suggs, and he's so much improved as a shooter, bro. We got to start giving Jalen Suggs, and I think, in my opinion, Herb Jones, real life consideration as the best and most improved players in the league, especially from a two-way perspective, because Herb Jones is hitting shots at an alarming rate. Jalen Suggs is hitting shots at an alarming rate. I think Jalen Suggs, to me, is the best defensive guard in the NBA. I think he just has a little bit more juice than a Derek White, a little bit more juice than a Drew Holiday. A little bit more juice than Alex Caruso. I think he's Alex Caruso 2.0. Anybody knows me knows I love Jalen Suggs, how he plays defense. I think he's Alex Caruso 2.0. In the Clippers game, something stuck out like a sore thumb, though. His finishing. His finishing was bad. Jalen Suggs' finishing was bad. Let me look at the numbers so I won't be sounding like I'm just talking out my neck. And I'm sorry if this is unprofessional. I'll be going to the stats as I think of them. But Jalen Suggs was 6 for 14 from the field, right? And you would think, oh, well, he must be not been shooting good from three. No. He was 2 for 4 from three. Out of his 14 shots, 4 of them was threes, and he hit 2 of them. The rest was him missing layups, dog. It felt like he missed 1,000 layups in that Clippers game, man. Say that. You got to be a better finisher, Jalen Suggs. But other than that, I love everything he brings to the table. I think he's a high injury risk just because the way he plays basketball. He's very fast, and he plays basketball kind of like a DB, bro. And I know I love the full court passing from Jalen Suggs, the quarterback in him, but he plays defense like a DB, and just like Alex Caruso, he's a high injury risk. But if Jalen Suggs can stay healthy, I think he can be an Alex Caruso 2.0, especially if that jumper keeps falling. And he just needs to work on that finishing because he has burst. He's always in the right spots when he's cutting or when he's attacking the rim. But his finishing, the finishing. Gary Harris, he's so replaceable. Markelle Fultz, so replaceable. Future outlook. Like I said, they already beat the Grizzlies, and they have a 5-game stretch that I think they should at least go 4-1, if not 5-0. But the Magic right now are 2 games back from the 4 seed Knicks. Well, as of whenever I made this, when did I make this? As of March 30th. But they are 2 games back of the 4 seed Knicks, 1 game up from the 6 seed Pacers. The 5-game forecast, like I said, Grizzlies, which they already won. Then they got the Blazers coming up, the Pelicans coming up, Hornets, and the Bulls. So the Bulls game, the Pelican games are the only 2 games that you kind of like, The Pelicans definitely you like, But if they want to get where they trying to go, man, and get the right seed, and they in this next stretch, they should be 5-0, 4-1. I'll be disappointed if they're anything other than that. And that's just my take on the Magic. I know this was a long-winded Orlando Magic update, but I think they're having a magical season. And I just want to show some love to my boy Paolo and everything he's doing in Orlando. He's one of the best number 1 overall picks since LeBron. He's on that short list, in my opinion. And I'm not going to let Victor Wembanyama overshadow him. Yeah. Now it's time to get to women's college basketball versus men college basketball. I promise y'all, I'm not pandering when I say this. I'm very serious when I say this, and I'm being very honest. I'm enjoying watching women's college basketball more than men's college basketball in a serious way. This is interesting. I just looked up some things because me and like I said, shout out my boy Big Mike. We was having a discussion, and I was telling him, like, say dog, I think I really like the women's tournament more than the men's tournament in college basketball, just because it was a familiarity thing. It's like I said, you know how many years I've been hearing about Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers and all these players, to the point where it's just like, okay, I gotta check them out. They still there. I gotta check them out, and I check them out. I'm like, I like what I'm seeing. Interesting, very interesting, very interesting. I want to see where this goes. Oh, they got this prospect coming in to pair with her on the. It's that, because I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast, one of my favorite listens while I'm at work, because they allow you to have your headphones. So I've been getting very into podcasts. So I'm listening to Bill Simmons, and he pretty much echoing the same sentiment I was echoing to Big Mike. I'm like, you get more years with these players and watch them build and grow and go towards a goal over time. You don't get that with men's college basketball, man. I looked up this stat. Let me get to the stat. So, as of 23-24, men's college basketball had 20 McDonald's All-Americans from 3 different classes: 2020, 2021, and 2022. The women's game had 23 McDonald's All-Americans just from 2020 alone. Did y'all not understand? Did y'all not hear that stat? There's 20 McDonald's All-Americans in men's college basketball from 3 classes: the 2020 class, the 2021 class, and the 2022 class. I'm not even including the 23 class. And in the women's game, out of the 2020 class alone, you have 23 McDonald's All-Americans that played in the 23-24 women's college basketball season. And the one that didn't play was because of an injury. That is a big deal, because we all know that the McDonald's All-Americans are the blue chip prospects, and they're carrying the women's game. And when I say carrying the women's game, it's like this. I keep up with high school basketball. I keep up with prospects because I got a weird brain. I always want to know who's next, what's next, who coming. I always look to talk my shit on who's the best, who I think's the best, who's really the best, and things of that nature. That's why I have just strong opinions on things. That's why when I see a Caitlin Clark, I'm like, yeah, she's gonna be the best player in the WNBA, because I've seen Diana Taurasi, I've seen Sabrina Ionescu, I've seen Kelsey Plum, I've seen them. Juju Watkins, I think she's gonna be the next great women's basketball player. I've seen the Maya Moores. So when I'm watching women's college basketball, I think of the grand scheme of things, just like when I'm watching men's basketball. I think of the grand scheme of things. Who is going to be a legend? That's how I think. I'm not just, who's good right now. I'm always projecting. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. But Juju Watkins, Hannah Hidalgo is 2 true freshmen that I was very interested in this season of college basketball. Hannah Hidalgo at Notre Dame, Juju Watkins at USC. Hannah Hidalgo in Notre Dame went down to NC State in the Sweet 16. Juju Watkins got UConn coming up in the Elite Eight, and we get to see Juju versus Paige Beckers. Do you understand? And if Hannah Hidalgo and Notre Dame would got past NC State, we would have had Hannah Hidalgo versus Camilla Cardoso in South Carolina. These are top 5 McDonald All-Americans players, top 5 in their class, more in different classes that are getting to go head to head. And we get to really see over time who is the best. You don't get that in men's college basketball. Like, we didn't get to get, let's say, Paolo versus a Ant or Zion. You know what I'm saying? Or we didn't get to see Ant. We didn't get to see Paolo and Zion play together because they both was one and done. So, like, we don't get to see a lot of matchups in men's college basketball that would make men's college basketball better. And I think that's benefiting the women's game. I think it might be hurting the WNBA. It could be hurting the WNBA. But it definitely is helping women's college basketball increase in popularity. Because we get Hannah Hidalgo and we get Juju Watkins for 2 to 3 more years. I think they got to play all 4 years. So we get them possibly for 3 more years. Can you imagine what Juju gonna look like in 3 years? Because I still think she got some polishing to do. I think she's gonna be way better than what she is now. She still has some struggles. Because she just struggled in the game yesterday. Who they play? Baylor. They play Baylor. She can't go left. And I think she figured some stuff out down the stretch because I think she had like 7 to 9 points in the fourth quarter down the stretch. But just imagine what she go look like in 3 years. She's a true freshman, averaging 26 points per game, second behind Caitlin Clark in scoring. So we get to watch that. And flip side on the men's side, you got Stephon Castle, who everybody loves his defense, think his offense needs some work. He ain't going back to UConn, bro. He's one and done. He ain't ready, but he one and done. He gone. We is not gonna see him in the UConn uniform next year. It just is what it is. Isaiah Collins has a lot to work on at USC. Has a lot. I like him more than others, but he ain't ready to go to the league. He gone. Isaiah Collins. Cody Williams. Cody Williams damn near looked like a role player on his own damn college team, man. He was a role player on Colorado. Cody Williams was a role player on Colorado. I think he was coming off the bench. He's gonna be one and done. Just imagine if we could actually get Cody Williams for 2 to 3 more seasons. Just imagine we can get Stephon Castle at UConn for 2 to 3 more seasons. Look what was going on with Donovan Clingan. Donovan Clingan could have left after 1 year. Look at Kyle Filipowski. Kyle Filipowski could have left after 1 year. They stayed, and they're all in the Elite Eight, Final Four. I think they men in the Final Four. That shows you how much I've been watching the men. Another thing about men's college basketball that I wanted to kind of talk about. I don't know how y'all feel about it. Mid-major stars aren't stars, man. I don't care what y'all say. The stars come from the McDonald's All-Americans, the top 20, 25, the ESPN 100, all that there. If Paul being carting and insert them into your brain, that dude ain't a star, dog. Now, I'm not saying they're not great players. Grant Nelson, he's a great player. But nobody knew Grant Nelson like that, bro. Unless you just a super sicko, as they would call him, into college basketball, man. Max Aitmas went to Texas. You know, I'm a Texas fan. Love Texas to death, bro. Hey, man, this ain't no damn star. Yeah, he came or Roberts. He used to put up buckets or whatever, man. But he ain't no damn star. I'm just saying, dog. Mark Sears, I like Mark Sears. He ain't no damn star. The only mid-major star that's really a star for real, in my opinion, is Dalton Connect. Dalton Connect the star. But the faces of men's college basketball that's been carrying men's college basketball, it just ain't it, bro. Like Zach Edey's cool. We see how Terrence Shannon Jr. went out. He was having a great season. He was having a great tournament till he just fell on his face against UConn. But Terrence Shannon Jr. was having a great run. I think to me, he was the most exciting player at college. He just had explosive games. Him and Dawson Connect. The Zach Edey shit cool, but come on, dog. Like the Zach Edey, Hunter Dickinson discourse, bro. We got to keep it up. That shit ain't whatever, bro. But Dawson Connect, he's a star. Terrence Shannon Jr., he's a star, that older guy. Kevin McCullough, before he got hurt, which was so unfortunate, he was looking like he was a blossoming star. But none of these guys was like no household names coming in. Like Jared McCain is a star coming in. Like the nail polish and all that old weird shit, that shit. But Jared McCain has been a star in play. He's a star in name. He's a true freshman. Just imagine if Jerry McCain got 2 more years. Look at what Kyle Filipowski is a perfect example. Kyle Filipowski is down 2 years. This is his second year at Duke. Just imagine if he had to do 1 or 2 more. Just how good Kyle Filipowski would be. I think the one and done rule is killing men's college basketball and it's hurting the NBA to a certain extent because a lot of these dudes ain't ready. Just imagine if Tennessee still had Kennedy Chandler. Just imagine if Auburn had Sharif Cooper. Just imagine if South Carolina, this South Carolina team that had the team from this season. Just imagine if Gigi Jackson still was over there with a Colin Murray Boyles, with a Michi. I'm just saying, man. It's the stars don't stay in men's college basketball. They go one and done because they can. The women would do it too if they can, but they can't. Look at college football. College football is booming because Caleb Williams gotta play for a longer time than we. Bo Nix got a lot of seasoning. Justin Herbert had a lot of seasoning. Trevor Lawrence made overstayed his welcome. Like he wasn't as high, but he still was number 1 in all that. His buzz still was his buzz, but we got to see him over multiple seasons. Lawrence had all that buzz after winning the championship his freshman season, and we still had to see a couple more seasons from him. Those are the things that I'm talking about that we don't get in men's college basketball. Man, you can care or not care, but we not going to dispute facts. We're not going to dispute facts. Like men's college basketball, every year it hinges on the incoming freshman class. That's why this year's was trash. Because this freshman class needs more seasoning. It needs more seasoning, bro. They wasn't ready to impact winning and carry teams. Hardly any freshman can. I did a segment earlier about Paolo, how he took Duke to a Final Four. That's few and far between. Bro. I'm just saying, man. Because Juju is in an Elite 8. I can see her for a few more years. Hannah Hidalgo was a 23-point per game scorer. Sonia Citron is projected to be a top 5 pick, not in 24, but in 25. She got to come back. Her and Westfield, they coming back, and I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here for it, bro. We are getting a rematch between Iowa and LSU. LSU is even more powerful, got more players, and we got to see if Caitlin Clark can beat and win it. And then I think the winner of that We could see Caitlin Clark have to run through Angel Reese, Haley Van Leer, Flaugier, Anissa Morrow, and possibly Paige Beckers or Juju Watkins and Carmilla Cardoso in South Carolina. If Caitlin Clark win a championship with Iowa this year, it's gonna mean something to every sports fan that really loves the game of basketball. It just is. In men's college basketball, UConn is doing great. They win back to back. That's gonna be cool. But will I care as much as a Caitlin Clark Iowa championship or LSU repeat or an undefeated South Carolina championship or a Paige Beckers comeback championship or a Juju Watkins championship? Not really. Not really. That's enough of that. Boxing. Let me play Dana White in boxing. Boxing. I can't be the only one that think boxing is in a weird place right now. I'm a little bit more than a casual. I'm more than a casual when it comes to boxing. I'm not an expert. Like, I don't know everything there is to know about boxing, the prospects, and all that there, like I do in basketball. But basketball is my number one sport. But boxing is definitely in my top three. Boxing probably my third sport that I follow. It's basketball, football, boxing, and unfortunately, I ain't even gonna say unfortunately. Fuck y'all. Y'all don't like tennis. That's y'all. But tennis is my fourth sport. And I probably would just have to throw in baseball as a fifth. I know a little bit about baseball. But boxing has always been a top 2 to 3 sport in my eyes. Shout out my granddaddy, rest in peace. He put me on the boxing a long time ago. I've seen Hagler Hearns, not live, of course. I've just seen Rumble in the Jungle between Ali and Frazier. I've just seen Frazier versus Foreman. I've just seen Foreman versus Ali. My favorite boxer of all time, it's just my personal preference. Pernell Whitaker, followed by Floyd, followed by Terrence Crawford. Like, I'm not as casual of a boxing fan as most guys. So right now, boxing is a little weird, man. It's one of the Pauls. I don't really know the difference between Logan Paul and Jake Paul. I couldn't pick them up in a lineup. I just can't. I can't do it. I don't know them like that. I'm not too into all the social media influencers guys that do other stuff. But you got that Tyson Paul fight, and I just think it's stupid. The Tyson Fury and Ngannou fight, it took steam off the Tyson Fury Usyk fight. It just was unnecessary. Joshua just demolished Ngannou. Just all these exhibitions. Tyson fighting Roy Jones when Conor McGregor fought Floyd. Like, the shit is really just is out of line, bro. Like, think about it like this. I'm sorry, I'm a basketball guy. Basketball perspective. Michael Parsons and goddamn who was bro from CJ Stroud. Let's say let's say they really went to an NBA team or just did some real NBA shit. That should just be so disrespectful. It's like it's just not the same thing. They killed it in the celebrity game, but in the NBA game, it's just not the same thing. And for boxing to allow the outside guys to come in and make more money than them, it's a shame. But it's boxing fault. They not making the fights. So this is what I did. I just was sitting back and I'm thinking, because I'm like, why don't I love boxing more? And I just had to sit back and think. The fights don't get made. The YouTube boxing commentators are better than the actual boxing events. Now, the Tim Tszyu, Sebastian Fundora card has been the best card so far this year, and I'm going to get into that. But the YouTube commentators are better than the boxing, if we just go keep it a buck. I love 903 boxing more than actual boxing right now. I love listening to Greg Hackett more than watching the actual boxing right now. YCM Sports Media. I'm just keeping it a buck. KO, knockout boxing. I love watching that shit more than I love the actual sport of boxing because the fights I want to see don't get made. So I did a little exercise. If I was Dana White, how would I fix boxing? I'm going two divisions that I think is just amazing and got so much potential and just my genuine interest in these two divisions. That's 126, that's the best featherweight, and of course 140. I think that's junior welterweight. Let me start with featherweight really quick because who you got right there? Everybody I love from featherweight. You have, of course, I'll say it all. I'm a sucker for Luis Alberto Lopez, man. His last fight was just super impressive. And he just got an awkward style. He said he kind of want to fight Oscar Valdez. Like, bro, come on, dog. You got enough competition in 126. Stop. See, that's the shit I be talking about. Why you talking about Oscar Valdez, dog? Stop it. But so you got Luis Alberto Lopez with that awkward style. Espinoza, who just beat Robeisy Ramirez in an upset nobody seen coming. I didn't even know who Espinoza was. Like I said, I'm a little slightly above a casual. I know who Robeisy was. I was interested in seeing him. A former Olympian. And I'm thinking, okay, this just gonna be a showcase of Robeisy. Now, that was, to me, in my opinion, was the best fight I've seen all last year. It made me a fan of both. I just think that Espinoza, he like a mini Fundora, but better. I think Espinoza's a better boxer than Fundora. I could be tripping. But I think Espinoza the real deal at 126. I think he goddamn. I ain't gonna compare him to Tommy Hearns, but just that size, that stature, that jab, the heart. Cause I think, boy, I think Robeisy broke Espinoza's leg at one point. Robeisy hit that boy so hard, that boy fell and broke his leg, and he got up and still won. Clearly. So Espinoza's a dog. Robeisy's a dog. Raymond Ford. That Raymond Ford fight, that was the most heart I done seen watching a boxing match live. That was all heart and grit. Because that other dude, they definitely was setting him up to beat Raymond Ford. Raymond Ford just wasn't having it. To pull out a knockout with just a few seconds, that shit was amazing. So I think Raymond Ford at 126 a dog. Ray Vargas. You got my boy, Bruce Shoo Carrington. 126. Y'all got to make these fights, man. These are the fights I want to see at 126. Let me see Robeisy. If he don't rematch Espinoza, let me see Robeisy versus Shoo, man. Let's just see it. Because I think Robeisy, he needs a bounce back victory. And he needs a big fight. This will be a big fight. Very exciting. It'd be a big fight for boxing fans. I don't know about how to. It still be on ESPN Plus. So it is what it is. Bruce Shoo, he need to step up. And this would be a brilliant step up. Like, I'm tired of seeing people trying to pity pat and just put their toe in. Shoo is an older prospect. He need big fights. Robeisy versus Shoo is definitely on my must-watch list. Espinoza versus either. I want to see Espinoza versus Luis Alberto Lopez. I just think that just would be so exciting. I think it just would be so exciting, man. I think it would be so exciting. And then I want to see Raymond Ford versus Ray Vargas. Who's real out of those two? Who's really the real champion? Who's a real champion? Raymond Ford, Ray Vargas. And I want to see somebody go for undisputed. Because the winner out of Espinoza and Luis Alberto Lopez, give me that winner versus the winner out of Raymond Ford and Ray Vargas. And if y'all don't like that, the winner of Robeisy and Shoo gets the winner of Raymond Ford and Vargas, and they automatically get 2 belts. And then they get the winner out of Espinoza and Luis Alberto Lopez. That's what I want to see in 126. That's what I want to see in 126. It's just me. It's just me. Moving on to the best division in boxing, and it's not even close. Even without Shakur Stevenson, even without Gervonta Davis, 140 is the best division in boxing, bro. And I was on Bleacher Report, and we saw the 140 division. I really wish I was the Dana White of boxing. If I was, I could be the Dana White of boxing, man. Y'all give me that. All the sanctioning bodies and all the multiple belts and organizations, the promoters, trash. Get rid of it. Diddy knows ball, but Diddy also knows boxing. Let me show y'all how we fixed boxing, and we pretty much fixed it pretty easily. So, like I said, I'm gonna get to the Tim Tszyu versus Fundora card. But let's fix 140, because on that card you had Esau Pitbull Cruz. Okay, I'm just gonna say Isaac Cruz. You had Isaac Cruz absolutely whoop on Rolly, who Rolly was, in most people's opinion, was never a real belt holder, was never really a real champion. It was all a lot of controversy about his belt. And Cruz just kind of took it from him. And now he's a real champion. Cruz is a real champion. Cruz is really a dog for real. He really got a granite chin for real, as they would say. I really like Isaac Cruz. These are the matches I want to see in 140. Now that Cruz has a belt, and like he said, he got a belt now. He got a belt now. I want to see these fights. I want to see these fights. I want to see a unification between Isaac Pitbull Cruz and Sabril Matias. I want to see it. Just imagine the fireworks of a Matias Cruz fight. I think that's a great fight. Neither one of them dudes is backing down. I think neither one of them can knock out the other one. And they can, but it's gonna be hard. So if it's a knockout in that fight, it'll be a great knockout. But even if it's not a knockout, it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be very, very action-packed. Love to see it. And I think that will boost the profile of both guys for this fight. The winner of Isaac Cruz and Sabril Matias get Teofimo Lopez in a unification. Now, I say Teofimo comes after the Sabril Matias and Isaac Cruz fight for this reason. Teofimo is a bigger star. Teofimo has a better resume, even though he looked shaky in his last fight. Teofimo, he's earned the right to sit back and let a couple belts come to him. Teofimo deserves a chance to get 3 belts. So the winner of Sabril Matias and Isaac Cruz, me personally, I don't know. I think that's a 50-50 fight in my opinion. No, I kind of say 60-40 Sabril Matias. I think he's just a little different. But I think Pitbull different too. And like 9-3 boxing, shout out 9-3 boxing. I don't think nobody knocks at Isaac Cruz. So yeah. But I think T.O. versus Sabril Matias or Isaac Cruz for 3 belts. Very interesting fight. I'm pretty sure I got T.O. losing to either one of them, to be honest with you. But 3 belts. Let's say Sabril Matias beat on Isaac Cruz and beat T.O. Now he got 3 belts. The winner gets Devin Haney. Give me Devin Haney versus the winner. And we get an undisputed, because Devin Haney said he wanted an undisputed at 140. That's the wrap. Isaac Cruz versus Sabril Matias in a unification. The winner gets T.O. in another unification. And then that winner fights the prize bull at 140, who is Devin Haney. I saw 140. That's just if everything was real and everything was serious. That's what I would do if I was the Dana White of boxing. Now, let's get to the Timzu versus Fundora card. I thought it was a brilliant card. You had the bantamweight fight. I think it was bantamweight. Let me make sure. Was that bantamweight? No, that was flyweight between Cordova and Martinez. Julio Cesar Martinez versus Angelino Cordova. Great fight. Great fight. I thought Angelino Cordova was winning the first couple rounds. Then Martinez bounced back, was whooping on him. Then Cordova won the last couple rounds. The one thing in the Cordova Martinez fight was Cordova's corner said in the last round, before the last round, that he won the fight. He was winning. Why the hell did you tell that man that when he should have just went out and fought regular, and he went out and fought like he was protecting the lead or something, and he ended up losing a very close fight? I thought that was stupid, but that was a good fight. And if Jesse Bam Rodriguez didn't move up, because I think he's trying to move up to fight Juan Francisco Estrada at junior bantamweight. So there's that. So I would love to see Martinez versus Bam. I thought that would have been a good fight. But I don't know what's going on at bantamweight, at flyweight. So there is that. So yeah. Now the other fight, old ass Ursan Lara. I'm just gonna say Lara because I always say Eris Landy. I think it's Eris Landy Lara. 40 years old. I don't even know who he fought. He knocked out dude so fast. I think he knocked him out in the second round. He knocked him out so fast I couldn't even learn his name. So there was that. Lara just destroyed that dude. I think I went to go get me some water, came back, punch, boom, knockout. I didn't get to really enjoy the fight. But shout out Lara. Hope he gets a Janovic fight or something. Then you had the main event, Fundora versus Tim Tszyu. It was supposed to be Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu, but people were saying Fundora was going to be a better fight. And me personally, I thought it was a good fight. It wasn't the best fight of the evening. I thought the previous fights were better, but it was a solid main event. If I had to rank the fights, I would go. I think Cruz versus Rowley was the best fight just because I was into them both. Then I think it was Cordova versus Martinez. I really liked that fight. Then Lara just knocking out old boy. I can't put it over Tim Tszyu versus Fundora, but it was a really good knockout. But the Tim Tszyu Fundora fight wasn't bad. Now it was the fight went sort of like this in my mind because I watched 903 boxing video and he was talking about how the cut didn't matter and how Tim Tszyu kind of folded once he got cut and he didn't go for broke and he wasn't as aggressive, even though he couldn't see that gash, that elbow to the head, and it was caused by Tim Tszyu. We can't overlook it was caused by Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu dipping his head, ducking his head into the elbow caused that cut. Fundora did have a bloody nose that was dripping into his mouth. I thought Tim Tszyu corner did a horrible job of stopping that cut. The dude in the broadcast, the PBC broadcast, kept saying, "Hey man, I don't think they got the right medicine over there." So there was that, but I don't know. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. Tim Tszyu could have won. He started out strong. Fundora with that jab, just being 6'6", being a 6'6" monster at 154 is crazy. He's crazy. So there's that. I mean, it was a solid fight. I would rather have seen Tim Tszyu win so we could get Tim Tszyu versus Earl. And I think Tim Tszyu versus Earl would have been a better fight than Tim Tszyu versus Bud. Because I think Bud is just on a whole different level. I don't think Bud should be fighting any of these niggas, man. Now, it's getting to the point where I'm damn near, I'm on the YSM Sports Media, man. Just go on fight Boots, dog. But they gotta throw that bag at him. And Boots, you gotta go whoop some ass, bro. You gotta no Diddy. Pause. Whatever. But you gotta go really whoop on somebody and get multiple belts. I don't know. The Bud shit getting stripped and then trying to go get his belt back. Oh, that's weird, bro. The bullshit's weird. But Bud would absolutely destroy Tim Zoo, and I think Earl versus Tim Zoo would have been a better fight. Fundora versus Earl, don't really care. Fundora versus Bud, don't really care. They need to send Boots at Fundora now at this point. And then that dude gets Earl. Then that dude, the winner of that, gets Bud. There, I solved it. Taking off my Dana White hat now. That's boxing. I wouldn't be me if I didn't complain about something. I have a list of complaints. Really 2 complaints, but multiple complaints within those complaints. First, I want to talk about high school basketball. I love high school basketball, and I promise I would have covered it way more on this channel and my main channel. But they got rid of the NIBC. That was the worst decision ESPN or whoever made those decisions could ever make. The NIBC was the best thing that ever happened to high school basketball. If you don't know what the NIBC was, it was the best high school basketball league where you would have the Montverse, the AZ Compass. I think it then turned into the EYBL Scholastic League now, which is the thing about the NIBC was I liked the way it was structured more. All the games was on ESPN Plus, easy access, all in one spot, available for consumption. If you had ESPN Plus, if you was really into that type of thing, it was there for you. And I think they only had the NIBC around for 2 to 3 years. They didn't let it grow. They gave up on it too early, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure anybody that was a real high school basketball nerd fan would agree with me. But ESPNU, in my opinion, has ruined high school basketball for me. EYBL Scholastic has ruined what the NIBC started to me. I think if you're watching high school basketball on ESPN, it should all be available. It should all be available on ESPN Plus. I don't care what anybody says. Because if you're watching high school basketball on ESPN, you are a real diehard. And that should be on ESPN Plus. It's plus. High school basketball should be the plus on ESPN Plus. It should be the plus. I shouldn't have to have ESPNU. I don't watch ESPNU. I could care less about ESPNU. Let's just keep it up. I could care less. I think anything high school should be on ESPN Plus and available to ESPN Plus subscribers, man. The fact that I gotta have ESPNU and ESPN Plus for some, it's a scam. It's a scam. I'm complaining about it. To have ESPNU exclusive content is terrible in 2024. It's terrible. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have ESPNU for the suckers out there, but anything that's available on ESPNU should be available on ESPN Plus. It's not like ESPN Plus is free, and the price is constantly going up. So, prioritizing ESPNU is stupid. Giving it better content is stupid. Because in the EYBL Scholastic, the better games were on ESPNU, and they put the Powder Puff games on ESPN Plus. Like you'll get Montverde and Link on ESPNU, and you'll get Montverde versus Legacy on ESPN Plus. Travesty. Absolutely devastated. And shout out Lee Reddy. I like Lee Reddy on YouTube. But why the hell I gotta go there to watch certain games in the EYBL Scholastic when the NIBC had it all available on ESPN Plus? All the way up until the Geico Nationals. And the Geico Nationals, of course, was on like ESPN2, ESPNU, whatever. And which is understandable. McDonald's All-American Game, understandable on ESPN2, ESPN. But give me all the high school content on ESPN Plus, please. Please. Bring back the NIBC or something. Or just put everything all in one place on ESPN Plus, Please. Yes, I'm complaining about that. That's only for a select few to even understand what the hell I'm talking about. But for the ones that do, I know y'all get it. Y'all understand. I know y'all gotta feel me. Put that shit back on ESPN Plus. RIP to the NIBC. I got another complaint. And this one is near and dear to my heart because I have been an NBA League Pass supporter, subscriber for the last couple years now. The NBA app is trash. The NBA app is absolutely garbage. And let me tell you why it's garbage. I'm not just throwing things out there. I'm not just talking out my ass. That rest in peace, David Stern. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Rest in peace, David Stern. Adam Silver, bro. I can't fucks with it. I can't rocks with you, bro. Like you worrying about a lot of things. You're very pro player. You damn near like a commissioner, JJ Redick. If JJ Redick was the commissioner of the NBA, his ass would be just like David Stern. Player propagandist. Player propagandist, bro. Because what's going on with the ESPN app is travesty. It's absolute travesty. First of all, it makes my phone hot. My phone be burning up when I be on the NBA app, bro. My phone be burning up, literally hot. 300 degrees. Real talk. My phone be hot as hell when I'm on the NBA app, when I'm trying to watch it on my phone. Randomly closes app. The NBA app just randomly closes sometimes while I'm watching the game on my phone. Certain features sometimes just don't work. You know, like you can put it in side screen, you zoom in, then you tap on the square, and it'll bring up a transparent scoreboard where they keep track of the score, the fouls, and things like that. Sometimes I click it, sometimes it just don't show up. Sometimes it just don't show up. When I'm watching a replay of a game, and I'm in widescreen watching it on my phone like this. Well, I guess I can actually put it on my phone. But I'm watching it on my phone like this. I'm looking at my phone. I'm watching it on my phone like this, y'all. And I'm trying to click through to fast forward because the game's a replay. I don't want to watch the commercials. I don't really want to watch no commentary. I'm just trying to watch the game. Sometimes it just won't be available for me to fast forward. The 10-second circle on the right just won't be available. It just won't be available. Game replays don't start at the tip. I gotta listen to the pregame on the replays, which is stupid. Just start a tip. Just start a tip. If I miss some of the pre-games talking, that's stupid. You can have that available, but start the game at tip, please. The post-game press conferences aren't available. What do I want to watch that? Or if it's available, it's not where I can find it. It's not where I can find it. It's not where I can find it. Live games don't start live. I don't know if that's too much to ask, but if the game's actually going live, it starts all the way back at the pregame. Can we get games that are live to start live when I click on them? Or it could just be my NBA app just being bad. But these are my list of complaints. Sometimes you just got to get it out. The NBA app is terrible. It's trash. League Pass is not cheap. It's not cheap. And I'm just complaining about this shit. I missed the NIBC. It was the best high school basketball league, and it was some of the best content on ESPN Plus. Now they are to prioritize ESPN, EYBL Scholastic League. I'm just complaining. But this has been another episode of Diddy Knows Ball, man. Make sure y'all follow me on all my social medias, especially follow me on Bleacher Report at Diddy Knows Ball. What's my Twitter? Because I think I'm gonna have to start getting more active on Twitter. I don't even know my Twitter, guys. This shit's so unprofessional. I ain't the most professional. I'm just a nigga with opinions about sports, man. What the hell is my damn Twitter? I didn't call it Twitter. I gotta look for the X thing. That was stupid. Why'd he do that? Branding is branding, but the X thing is like, who's gonna sit around and call it shit X? I don't even see the app. Oh, there it is. X. Like, come on. But Diddy Knows Ball at Quiet Hype Media on X, Diddy Knows Ball on Bleacher Report. I think I'm Diddy Knows Ball on Threads. It's so much goddamn shit. I gotta make me a TikTok. But yeah. Yeah, I'm Diddy Knows Ball _1 on Threads. Yeah. But that's it, man. If y'all like the episode, got any comments, concerns, let me know in the comments. But man, I'm gone. I'm tired of this shit.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can live comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I will never quit.